Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and over the past 1 day, the price of Ethereum has perfectly retested this previous line of resistance to flip it into new support. Also, over the past 1 week, we've just seen another $1.7 billion worth of Ethereum withdrawn from exchanges. And to top that off, the total amount of Ethereum that has been permanently burned just crossed over 2 million Ethereum. So I'll be covering all of that and so much more later in the video. But first, let's take a quick look at the 4-hour Ethereum chart. And for those of you that have been watching my recent Ethereum update on this channel, it was only around 2 days ago we were expecting a shorter term cool off in the price of Ethereum, and we did end up seeing that over the following day, which resulted in the 4-hour Ethereum RSI cooling off right into the center of the RSI before seeing another shorter term bounce. But even though the price of Ethereum has played out this short term cool off, resetting the RSI, there's still some possible bearish signals just on this 4-hour chart for Ethereum. One of the possible bearish signals is that the recent price action over the past few days resembles the same price structure that we formed in the first half of February, which turned out to be bearish price structure. You can see that this previous price action started off with a pump to the upside leading into a top, and then we saw a short-term cool-off in the price of Ethereum. It came back up towards that previous top, but because we did not break above that previous top and we formed a lower high, that was really our first bearish signal, and the second bearish signal was when we broke below this low right here, which at that point obviously signaled some more bearish price action that lasted for around a week. And so I'm sure you can see in the recent price action, it does look very similar to what we saw back then. So if the price of Ethereum does end up confirming a lower high and more importantly breaks below this previous low sitting at just above 2.8k, then that would be the bearish signal to pay attention to. But of course, we haven't confirmed that bearish signal just yet. As of right now, this is just a possible risk to be aware of. And another possible bearish signal to pay attention to moving forward, if we do end up seeing a slightly higher high, is a possible bearish divergence, considering how low the RSI is sitting when you're looking at these two highs in the 4-hour Ethereum RSI relative to the same highs but over in the price action. You can see that this lower high in the RSI is a lot lower than the lower high in the price action, which basically means if the price action gets slightly above that previous high, forming a slight higher high, then there's a very good chance that the RSI will still be in a lower high compared to this previous high, forming a bearish divergence. But obviously, as of right now, we have not confirmed a bearish divergence. Once again, this is just something to pay attention to moving forward in case it does play out. But all of that is only on the somewhat smaller time frames, talking about the 4-hour charts, because when you're zooming out to the 12-hour time frame, we have the parabolic stop and reverse indicator still sitting in the green, which is technically a bullish signal. And the same thing goes for the 12-hour Ethereum MACD as well. It is also trending to the upside. But if you're looking in the histogram, it is starting to lose a bit of that bullish momentum, which is possibly trending towards a bearish cross, but obviously we have not seen that just yet. So for now, this is slightly more bullish than bearish. And looking in the 12-hour Ethereum RSI, this bullish movement is starting to fade into more of a neutral movement, just sideways price action. So to summarize this 12-hour Ethereum chart, we're looking slightly more bullish than bearish, but we're just starting to see a couple indications on this chart showing a loss in some of this bullish momentum in the shorter term at least. But staying on the 12-hour Ethereum chart and taking a look at this symmetrical triangle pattern, over the past 1 to 2 days, the price of Ethereum has retested this previous line of resistance and flipped it into new support. And that line, by the way, is coming in at around 2.8k. So for as long as Ethereum is holding above 2.8k, honestly, we're looking pretty good here, because while the price of Ethereum is above 2.8k, then technically speaking, this breakout is still valid. And this breakout only gets invalidated if we fall back below that 2.8k level. And considering the fact that this symmetrical triangle pattern in both the price and the RSI is visible on the daily time frame as well, we would need to see at least a daily candle close below 2.8k in order to invalidate this breakout to the upside. And speaking of breakouts to the upside, of course, we have this falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame that has already broken out to the upside, and the technical price target is at the top of the wedge, which is sitting at around 3.2k to 3.3k. And as the subscribers would already know by now, if you zoom further out on the chart and extend this line of resistance, you really get to see why this line of resistance is so important for Ethereum to remain above, because this single line of resistance has essentially been forcing the price of Ethereum lower and lower for a few months now. And so only within the last 1 week, we've finally gotten our first breakout to the upside above this massive line of resistance. And by the way, this line of resistance is coming in closer towards 2.7k. Now zooming out to the 3-day Ethereum chart and bringing out the Bollinger Bands indicator, which is right now squeezing together. And this usually happens after we see some sideways price action, which obviously we've seen a lot of that over the past couple months. But also, anytime we see the Bollinger Bands squeeze together like this, that is an indication that another massive market move move is coming sometime soon. Just showing you some examples, we saw this happen back in around July 2020, where Ethereum played out a lot of sideways price action, and then we saw a squeeze in these Bollinger Bands right before a significant move back to the upside. And we saw a very similar thing back in October and November 2020. Also in late March and early April 2021. We also saw something similar in July 2021, and the same thing again in December last year, just before that significant move back to the downside. So even though seeing these Bollinger Bands squeeze together tells us that another massive move is coming sometime soon, unfortunately the squeeze in the Bollinger Bands does not tell us the direction of that move. But to help determine the direction of the next massive move, instead of looking at the squeeze in the Bollinger Bands indicator, instead we can look at whether or not the price is in the top half or the bottom half of the Bollinger Bands. And as of right now, at the time of recording, Ethereum is in the top half of these Bollinger Bands, which is technically more of a bullish signal. But the price of Ethereum is still yet to form a new higher high on the daily time frame. So that is definitely a bullish signal that is missing right now on the daily time frame for Ethereum. But now taking a quick look at the total amount of Ethereum across all exchanges, and specifically over the past 1 week, there has been a lot of Ethereum leave exchanges. In fact, over the past 1 week, there's been around 584,000 Ethereum leave exchanges, which is equivalent to around $1.7 billion worth of Ethereum. And for anyone that might be new to this channel, what this actually means is essentially Ethereum is getting scarcer and scarcer because more Ethereum is getting taken away from the available supply of Ethereum, which means less and less Ethereum is available for purchase, which according to basic supply and demand economics, when supply goes down, that is a bullish signal. But I want to make it clear that this doesn't necessarily have an immediate impact on the short-term Ethereum price. This is really talking about the bigger picture, the longer-term movement in the market. And speaking about the bigger picture, ever since we saw the EIP 1559 upgrade to Ethereum that was included in the London hard fork upgrade last year, since then, the total amount of Ethereum that has been permanently burned, deleted forever, is over 2 million Ethereum, which at the current price is worth over 5.8 billion US dollars worth of Ethereum that has been permanently deleted. And for those of you wondering what this actually means for Ethereum, it basically means the same thing as all of that Ethereum leaving exchanges. Basically, it's taking away from the available supply of Ethereum. It is reducing Ethereum's available supply, making it more scarce, and therefore this is a bullish signal for the longer term, the bigger picture. And now giving you a quick update on the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and you can see this break to the downside is continuing to play out and has now transferred over to the daily RSI as well. We finally broke to the downside, but we still need to see a daily candle close before actually confirming this break to the downside in the daily RSI. So for as long as the Bitcoin dominance closes today's daily candle in the red, then it would be fairly safe to say that we are playing out a reversal in the Bitcoin dominance back to the downside, which would be bullish for the altcoins. So technically speaking, this is actually signaling a possible altcoin season, because an altcoin season is just when we see a larger downtrend in the Bitcoin dominance, basically meaning that the altcoin market on average is outperforming Bitcoin. And in a scenario like that, I'll be sure to cover some more altcoins in these videos, just like what I was doing last year. So if you have any altcoin suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And like I said, if this downtrend in the Bitcoin dominance continues, then I'll potentially cover some more altcoins in these videos, and I'll be covering the most suggested altcoins first. So if there's only one single comment about a certain type of altcoin, I probably won't be covering that altcoin. But if a lot of you are suggesting the same altcoin, then I'll be sure to get that on the channel sometime soon if this Bitcoin dominance continues further to the downside. But anyway, if you found this video useful or simply enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. And before we click off, if you want to make more money in crypto, whether or not prices are going up or down, then these two videos popping up right here are definitely for you, because they can help you make that happen. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.